NCTV45, The Train, anytime on your time.
This program was provided through funding from Cedars Restaurant in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. A special thanks to Cedars, featuring Middle Eastern, Italian, and American cuisine. Today's program was furnished by a grant from the Beanery Depot and Deli, featuring coffee, made-to-order subs, and snacks. The Beanery Depot and Deli in Mahoningtown.
Welcome back to the Cedars Sports Corner, everybody, here on NCTV45. And I have a feeling someone's excited for college football season.
It's August! Oh, yes!
I'll tell
And
you.
it could only be one thing.
And what is that?
The Band of the Fighting
The
Irish.
Fighting Irish Band, huh?
You know, I mean, does that just tell you something about the season you can be expecting from the guys wearing the gold hats?
Yeah, well, there's a few teams that have the gold hats. There's Navy, there's Pitt, there's
Wait.
Georgia Tech.
You know, as they said at like Coca-Cola, there ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. You know?
Oh,
And-
I'm actually a Diet Cola guy.
Well,
So,
I
I mean,
think
it's not the real thing, but it's like...
Well, that explains a lot. See, Mike, the more I tried to explain things to you about this guy here, you didn't listen.
Angelo thinks I like to go against the crowd just because, but I don't think it's that. I think Angelo just likes to have such a biased opinion, and that he knows it too, that he just wants to agitate me or any other person who disagrees with him. But anyway, here's what I will say about Notre Dame. One thing I love about Notre Dame is that they're the only school, I believe, that has a bigger fan base than they do of actual alumni. Because think about it, a lot of fans of college teams are people who have connections, either went to school there or something. But Notre Dame, is a smaller school, but their fan base and their viewers are so.
See, what I understand now is you don't understand canon law. Do you know what canon law is? That's the law that comes from Rome. See, and Pope, the seat of Peter, the Pope, he has canon law. So here's what canon law says. You go right to the book. The book says this. It says, starting during football season, you are to cheer for the National Catholic Football Team. That could only be one thing, Notre Dame.
What about Boston College?
They're not national, they're regional. Okay? You may be able to follow the regional boys after you watch Notre Dame. And why? Ladies before gentlemen. So Mary's always first. Okay?
There you go.
Now, during basketball season, the Pope being flexible, you can cheer for your regional Catholic college.
There's too many.
In that way, everybody gets a chance to put up their dukes, because you got to give some money to the local bishops, or else they'll be making all the money in South Bend. See, so Ashbat, this is a very explainable thing.
There's like 1,000 Catholic basketball schools.
You
First
know
of all,
how many?
St. John, St. Bonaventure, St. So.
Do you understand how many dioceses there are?
I know, but like, how many teams can one person root for? Listen.
No, you only do the one. Look, we're in the Pittsburgh diocese, so you got to be a Duquesne fan.
Oh, Angelo.
See, you got to understand the rules.
You
Now
actually-
let's get back to football.
Fine, let's get back to football.
Okay.
Okay.
This is going to kick off. Now, Ashbeth, you know your Duquesne Dukes. They're going to take on UMass. I already explained that to you.
Yeah.
Now, the first game of the season, September 1st for the Irish, Michigan, Notre Dame.
I know.
You know the Irish are going to be sky high. So, what happens after that? Well, Ashbeth. Then they got Ball State. Then they got Vanderbilt. Okay. Then they got at Wake Forest, the Deacon Demons. They go down there for exorcism. Then they come home to Stanford. Here's what's beautiful. Michigan and Stanford must come to Notre Dame to play. Then after Stanford, it's Virginia Tech. Go like this.
No. Why? Why do you want me to go like this for?
No, just put your arm up. Then it's Pitt. Under the arm with Pitt. Then it's Navy, Northwestern, and here's the part of the season that gets tricky. This is the part. Florida State comes to Notre Dame. I'm comfortable. It'll be nice and cold. It's November. We go, Syracuse comes to Notre Dame. I'm comfortable. And then, Calabuts and a cheetah. We go out to USC. They even have a to be announced because that's 11/24. That's Thanksgiving weekend. And you know that game has decided more national titles than any other game in recent history or past history or any history.
So who wins that game?
We're lighting candles now. They're even lighting candles at Boston College. I say the Irish.
You know what, Angelo? I hope they do. Because like I told you before, I actually do like Notre Dame. Obviously, I'd like, Pitt to be the national title, but that's not happening anytime soon.
Well, now, in fairness,
I'm looking at Pitt's schedule right now.
I want to hear about Pitt.
All right, here's the deal. Okay? Now, Pitt often gets a bad rap for, their schedule. I remember in the Big East, they beat bad teams, things like that. But, Pitt also has a tendency to lose to bad teams and beat teams they shouldn't. And, I know you like Narduzzi as a coach. I know most people like Narduzzi as a coach. Not that he's like an amazing coach, but, pretty decent.
He's solid.
He's like a solid. You know what he'll do? He'll get you 8 wins a year. Like 8 and 5-ish. And if you can kind of.
No, he'll get you Pitt with Narduzzi at Pitt. You're gonna go 8 and 3. You're gonna play a bowl game, and you're probably gonna win. Okay. And the longer you string together, now let me tell you this, oh great one.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you string together 8 and 3 seasons, the undefeated seasons will come. The key is Pitt gets in the way of themselves.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah,
I absolutely agree.
They're streaming along. They're doing everything great, and they make a change for no reason.
You know what I think? This is what I think, too. It's like, I feel like Narduzzi's almost, in a way, he was learning on the job. Now, you have year 3. You shouldn't be. He has a tendency to make some really questionable calls.
Let's look at the schedule.
Albany, week 1. Okay.
They win.
Hopefully.
Pitt, Penn State. It's the Panthers. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. You heard it here first. Pitt beats Penn State. Now, here's where the danger comes in for your Panthers. Georgia Tech, that could be a letdown week. North Carolina,
they always give Pitt trouble. That's just a team, like, I look at the schedule, I know Pitt's going to lose, too.
That's dangerous. Then they play Central Florida, which they were undefeated last year. Then Syracuse, no problem. I don't see them coming out to Notre Dame and being able to win. And then they have an underrated Duke team, an underrated Virginia team, and this is where Pitt's bowl season comes down. Duke, Virginia, Virginia Tech. They get 3 wins there, they're going to a bowl. Now, here's the dangerous part. They beat Wake Forest, no doubt in my mind. But do you know how crazy Miami's going to be? The Pitt tossed them right out of the national championship.
Angelo, I remember that game. I was following it on my phone. I was in between work shifts, and my heart kept pounding. I kept refreshing my phone. 7 minutes left. I kept getting text messages from all my friends. I got a text. I know you were texting me saying, "Ha ha ha! Pitt's gonna blow it. They're gonna Pitt." I think that was you.
No, I was a totally for Pitt.
Do you feel though? So if Pitt goes 6-6, they get a bowl. How do you feel about these 6-6 bowls?
I feel Pitt goes better than 6-6. I feel Pitt goes 8-3, losses to Notre Dame, lost to Georgia Tech and North Carolina.
Very possible.
So I see 8-3, 3 loss. I see them, and this is what I don't like. I don't like an 8-3 team getting shortchanged that they don't play on New Year's Day. Pitt should have a Cotton Bowl berth or a New Year's Day berth.
I have a lot to say about the bowl system, but I think we should save that for our second segments because I think our sponsors. I think our sponsors want to give us a shout out. So a word from our sponsors, and we'll continue when we come back.
Sylvan Heights Golf Course in Newcastle, Pennsylvania features many amenities, lush fairways, and great greens, and many challenging shots. Your crowd will applaud. A short drive from Butler, Sharon, Pittsburgh, Elwood, and Youngstown. It's Sylvan Heights Golf Course in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Hey, Angelo Parada here for Croakers, Kegs, and Corks. And if that's not a mouthful, nothing is. But when you need a mouthful of that special brew, it's Croakers, Kegs, and Corks. You know, nothing tastes better than when you make it yourself. And I do some of that brew myself quite often. I like doing it. It's a great hobby, and it's something you can do. Croakers, Kegs, and Corks, located right in Union Township. Give them a try. This program furnished by the MAD Unit, Mobile Auto Detailing. See Michael Sad at themadunit.com. Elham's for one great dining experience.
We're back.
We are back here on the Cedar Sports Corner. And Angelo, before we went to break, I actually wanted to ask you something. How do you feel about 6-6 teams getting to play in a bowl game? There's a lot of people that feel like a team that goes 500 shouldn't be rewarded.
Let me explain to you this, because, and I want to go back to the 70s. Okay, people go, "Oh, we didn't have that many bowls." Ashpat. What happened in the 70s? You had the Mizlu television network, or you had these other networks, and you would have Thanksgiving. The week after Thanksgiving was rivalry week. Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, USC, Pitt, West Virginia. The week after, you'd have the Army-Navy game. The week after that, you'd have the Alonzo Stagg Bowl, okay, which was a subdivision bowl, like Division II or Division III, I'm not sure. Then you had the Freedom Bowl, maybe it was on a Thursday in December. Then you would have the Liberty Bowl on a Saturday in December. And they would inch their way up to New Year's Day. And then New Year's Day, you had Rose, Cotton, Fiesta, Orange. That's it. I don't believe that somebody goes, hey, congratulations, you were average. You're breathing. You're an Olympic, athlete. I just don't believe it.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you out there, and I know Bucky and my good friend Frank, and I love Frank, but this is what kills me. Now, you can say anything you want about Notre Dame's schedule, but here you go with Penn State. Appalachian State. They start off with somebody like that. Then they do play Pitt. They're followed up by, yeah, you got it, Kent State. So their first 3 games are very questionable, and then they move in to the next rung. Illinois, Ohio State, Michigan State, Indiana, Iowa, and Michigan. Followed up by Wisconsin, Rutgers, and Maryland. Now, they almost end the last 2 games trying to ensure themselves a bowl as they do the first 2 games because it becomes a moneymaker. We know they'll beat Appalachian State. We know they'll beat Kent State. So I say they lose to Pitt. They're 2-1 going into Illinois. They beat Illinois. They're 3-1. They lose to Ohio State. They're 3-2. They lose to Michigan State. They're 3-3. They beat Indiana. They're 4-3. They lose to the Hawkeyes. They're 4-4. Michigan and Penn State. I'm going out on a limb here. They play to a tie.
I don't.
4-1, and they're heading into the last season. And this is where they beat Wisconsin, so they're 5-4-1.
I think Wisconsin beats them.
And by beating Rutgers and Maryland, do you understand what I'm saying? They get the 6th and 7th win, they go to a bowl.
Yeah, it's like whenever I look at Penn State's schedule, it's like I usually mark off Ohio State as a loss. Even though they beat them not that long ago, but it's like it seems like
it's funny for you because when I look at Penn State's schedule, I get confused. I think, wait, I go back because I didn't know if I was looking at Union or Penn State.
Well,
yeah. No offense there, Scotties, but I had to say it. You're both blue white.
I do have a little bit of affinity for Wisconsin because I love their head coach Paul Chris, who was the coach of Pitt for a few years. Great guy. Kind of stabilized the program. Penn State, yeah, I remember they, for as long as I can remember, they've always got a bad rap for their schedule, saying, let's stack on cupcake teams, things like that. But, people who defend them would be like, but the Big Ten is so tough.
No.
Ohio State,
please.
Big Ten's usually top heavy.
Notre Dame's been through the Big Ten. I don't want to hear it. Now, you know what we have to do in the next segment? We have to go to the locals and see how they're going to fare right after these messages.
Parkstown Restaurant has been serving the greater Newcastle area with quality and experience in family dining and great entertainment. Their superb menu includes sides, wings, pizza, sandwiches, Italian entrees, American entrees, soups and salads. Parkstown Restaurant located at 2800 West State Street, Newcastle. Eat in or take out. Also, call Parkstown and ask about what's on tap for entertainment. 724-656-1453. 656-1453.
Today's programming is brought to you by NCTV45 and NC Radio 450, Newcastle's community television station. This program furnished by Sporting Goods, 23 East Washington Street, Newcastle. Call 724-658-2535. These fine businesses provided funding for this program. Gatherings, Town and Country, and On Target.
Welcome back to the Cedars Sports Corner, everybody. And let's talk some local university college football. And YSU, the Youngstown State Penguins.
Why not?
Why not?
They open up with Butler. Now, Butler's coming to YSU. Now, a little Butler history here. Butler's located in Indianapolis, and Butler Stadium looks like the old Taggart Stadium. They have two cement sides going up. We were out there for when the Dukes played Butler, and little history there. I say YSU wins the first 2 o'clock home opener.
Well, you know what game I'm interested in? The game they play the following week against the villainous West Virginia Mountaineers. Oh my goodness!
Now,
I will take classes at YSU again if they beat West Virginia. That's how hopeful I am.
I will say this. West Virginia, you never know who's going to show up.
That's what I feel like with Pitt, honestly.
Okay, and in their conference, okay, what's really crazy is West Virginia's going to open up with Tennessee, and they're going to follow by North Carolina State. So West Virginia, when I look at their schedule, it's rugged. So this may be the chance for the Mountaineers to go down, and there's a 92% chance. It's like 92 to 8% that YSU wins. YSU has that thin little window of hope. Then the Penguins take on Valparaiso, and they get into league play with West Illinois, South Dakota State, and South Dakota, Indiana State, and North Dakota State. There's a lot of, same areas. Then it's Northern Illinois and Illinois State. So,
I think give YSU more of a chance than, what was it, like 8% or whatever?
I think they play the game tough and they make the playoffs.
I don't think they'll beat West Virginia, but remember, they did beat Pitt a few years ago.
No, but making the playoffs for YSU would be good. Now, your beloved Duquesne Dukes.
My Duquesne Dukes.
Okay, I knew. See, ever since I told them about canon law. The Dukes open up with UMass. Now, I'm saying that anything's possible with the Dukes. They've been good when nobody gave them a chance, and last year they almost ran the table and made the playoffs. And when you look at the standings for Duquesne, they have an excellent chance to finish up high. So I look for Duquesne to be able to beat UMass, if not come close, and then post wins with Lock Haven and Valparaiso. Then for Duquesne begins the dastardly road.
Oh, God.
Okay, Dayton, the Dayton Flyers, always a big rivalry. If you're a Duquesne guy, you know that Dayton, if it's basketball, We could be in a hot dog eating contest. Dayton is the Catholic school rival from the West. Then the Dukes go out to take on the Rainbow Warriors. Now that game is going to be interesting because I know that's going to be a late night game on TV. I'm going to be drinking a lot of coffee.
Coffee, right?
Because I want to see that one. Bryant will take on Duquesne. Then Duquesne comes home to take on
Bobby Moe.
And you know, they beat Bobby Moe last year.
You know what? Honestly, like, you have to love Bobby Moe. I mean, I mean, they're a local school that does not get as much credit as they should. Here's why. First of all, their club hockey team is amazing. Second of all, they was at Kentucky in the NCAA tournament. Was that?
Yeah.
It was a while ago, but that was still a great moment in program history.
I see Duquesne beating Bobby Moe, beating St. Francis, and beating Wagner. They come then to Sacred Heart, which they struggled with last year, and Central Connecticut State. So the Dukes ought to have a pretty good season. I see them finishing at least 8-3. The tough ones: UMass, Hawaii, okay, and definitely Sacred Heart. You know, that seems to be where the Dukes could have some issues. Now, that's going to do it for me.
Did you know Duquesne actually has NCAA Final Four appearance in 1940? They also have 2 Elite Eight appearances, 2 Sweet 16 appearances, 5 NCAA tournament appearances, 1 conference tournament championship, and 2 conference regular season championships, 1980, 1981. See, that's what I don't like. This is college basketball. I should have clarified that. One thing I don't like is if, like, when you win your regular season conference championship, but if you don't win your tournament championship, you don't get into the
3 things for you here. Okay. And, oh, great one, you probably don't know this, but you're going to be impressed. Number 1, the first Orange Bowl game featured Duquesne and Miami of Florida.
Man, that must have been like, what, 1890?
It was in the 30s.
Wow.
Okay. Next up, that Duquesne's football team was called the Night Riders because they always played at night.
Mm-hmm.
But when the war broke out, that's when they dissolved football and then they brought it back. I actually think Duquesne should consider in the first game, not that it would be a win, but if Pitt's going to play Youngstown, why not play Duquesne?
Oh, well, I don't think they can play Duquesne in football because Duquesne is NCAA Division III, right?
No, we're Division I AA.
Well, now it's like FCS Subdivision 1.
Yeah, but
I don't know if they can, like...
Well, we play Albany. So Penn State.
I don't know how that works.
So they could play them.
Okay.
And number 2, the game which you spoke of that was basketball.
Mm-hmm.
The 1980 game and the 1981 game. I had to take a lot of aspirin. That game in both years featured Duquesne and Pitt. It was nationally recognized. And that's the 2 games that propelled Pitt into the Big East because the Eastern 8 was outdrawing the Big East. And they had the Civic Arena then packed to the rafters, people sitting on the floor, capacity crowd, and it was a national game. So Duquesne had won the conference and lost the tournament and didn't go to the NCAA.
And they also beat Pitt a couple years ago, too, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Kevin Stallings there. Oh, God. So glad that's over. But, so, anything else you want to say, or?
That's it. That was our college football special. We'll bring a couple more to you.
And our next show will, I feel like maybe I should bring back some fantasy football.
I think you should.
At least for a little, but not the whole show. But maybe talk a little.
I got to know how
football.
this works.
I know. Maybe we'll get you playing, or maybe we could start betting on games, talking the spreads and stuff. That's one thing I never got into. I know a lot of people do, but I don't know if we promote gambling on this webcast or the show or not. But so just make sure you tune in to our episode next week and. Just get ready, everybody. It's the best time of the year. Football season's come right around the corner. You have a good one.
Right here.
A special thanks to the YMCA for caring about the Lawrence County community and providing funding for this program.